I believe that Thailand has a wide range of competitive advantages. First of all, our strategic location. Thailand is situated right in the heart of Southeast Asia. At least in the mainland ASEAN, we are right in the middle. And our strategic location is enhanced with our connectivity. The Thai government has significantly invested in infrastructure facilities over the past many years and also in the years to come, as we have investment plan of at least $60 billion in all types of infrastructure facilities. So these investments would lead to an excellent connectivity with our neighboring countries and beyond. Also, we have a very strong supply chain in many key industries, such as the food industry. There are more than 10,000 companies in the whole supply chain. The automotive industry. Thailand has been the most important automotive producer in this region with around 2,000 companies in the whole supply chain. And also in the electronics industry, we are one of the most important hard disk drive manufacturer in the world. With all of this combined, also we have, over the last few years, we have invested in digital infrastructure. There are today 8 submarine cables which connect Thailand to the rest of the region and beyond. Actually, we have probably the most interconnections to all ASEAN countries. So this makes it make Thailand a promising location as a digital hub as well. And also, we are developing the EEC, the Eastern Economic Corridor, which has been positioned as the new growth hub of ASEAN, not only the new growth hub of Thailand, which is we expect to attract investments with higher technology content, and also we expect to attract foreign talents as well. So a lot of activities are going on, a lot of infrastructure facilities are being enhanced, particularly in the EEC. We have a number of key infrastructure projects, such as the high-speed rail linking Bangkok and the EEC. We are expanding our seaports. The EEC, which is already the most important industrial area in the country, but we are even making it even more important by upgrading it. We are expanding our seaports, our airports, and also creating an innovation hub, which is known as the EECI, and also a digital hub. So all of these combined, they are all form a very strong competitiveness of Thailand. And on top of this, we are offering a very competitive cost as compared to other countries in the region. We have identified a number of targeted sectors for attracting FDI. And as I mentioned earlier, Thailand has a number of key advantages. And these key advantages make Thailand a very promising location as a regional business hub. So one of the key sectors that we would like to focus on is to attract multinational corporations to set up a regional business hub in Thailand. We have all sorts of well-established infrastructure facilities that are necessary for running a business hub. Also, we are offering very competitive costs, which are very important for the consideration of multinational corporations. And we also have a very strong supply chain. We have very good connections in terms of travel, whether it be air travel or land travel. So all of these, and also we of course we are improving our legal ecosystem every day to make sure that we are offering a very conducive business environment. So we definitely would like to attract more multinational companies to use Thailand as their regional hub. Another important sector would be related to the so-called BCG, which is a concept that the government recently announced and would be a key driver for our economy in the years to come. And this is a very, I would say, is an initiative that makes a lot of sense because Thailand, of course, is one of the world's very few net food exporters. And with this, we have a lot of potential as we are a major producer of many agricultural producers. And we definitely need to bring in more technology content. And also, this initiative will help unlock our potential. And in terms of the circular economy, which is part of the BCG, We certainly have a lot of potential as well, such as we have a lot of biomass lying around and we better make use of it. And we can make a lot of greater value added out of these raw materials. And last but not least, about the green technologies, we certainly would like to make sure that we can develop industries and services that use greener technology so that we can pass on a very good environment to our next generations. And just to mention a few, Thailand has been a production hub of bioplastic in this region. This is just one example of the BCG initiative. Another key sector would be medical hub. Thailand has long been a medical hub in terms of medical tourism. Each year before COVID time, we have 2 million foreign patients treated in Thailand. And with the COVID situation, certainly that has reinforced our position as a medical hub as well. And the government has taken steps to ensure that we can further develop this potential. For example, the BOI just recently announced new support measures for clinical research because we believe that this will be a promising future for Thailand. Another key sector would be smart electronics. As you probably know, that we are a major production hub for hard disk drives and data storage devices and so on. And in recent years, there have been a lot more investments in smart electronic manufacturing. And we believe that this would become an even more important in the near future. So there are a lot of activities going on. And last but not least, the automotive industry. Because the automotive industry has been one of the most important industry in Thailand in terms of exports and also in terms of their contribution to GDP. And we still have a lot of potentials to unlock. So these are all the key sectors that we intend to attract more FDI. First of all, I'd like to say that the automotive industry has been on top of the BOI's agenda for many, many decades. Since the start of the industry back in the 60s and 70s, the BOI has been promoting the automotive industry all along. And we have been very successful in coming out with a product champion. If you still remember, the one-ton pickup truck was our product champion. And we have been successful in developing the automotive cluster in Thailand. Currently, the localization of automotive industry or the automobiles made in Thailand, the local content is quite high, ranging from 60 to 90% depending on the types of automobiles. So I could say that we have been very successful in developing our automotive industry. Now comes the new technology, the EV. Of course, the challenge at hand is that how to turn our existing automotive industry into an EV cluster to retain our position as a leading automotive producer. Of course, the BOI came out with the first round of policies on electric vehicles a couple of years ago. And just recently, we came out with the second round of support measures for EVs. And this time, we have expanded the scope to cover even more vehicles. Now we're covering two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and four-wheelers, and no wheels at all, such as boats. Because all types of vehicles can be electrified. We focus on, our current policies focus on how to turn the existing cluster into EV cluster and to bring in newcomers, particularly producers of key EV parts. We have identified 4 key EV parts which form a significant cluster of the whole EV supply chain. All of these BOI measures aimed at creating or turning or transforming the ICE cluster that we have today into an EV cluster. And we also work with other agencies such as the Ministry of Finance to ensure that we are offering the right ecosystem for the EV industry to be developed in Thailand. Actually, the BOI has a number of tasks. A lot of people think that we only grant tax and non-tax incentives. Actually, we are doing much more than that. Of course, one of our primary goals or tasks is to grant tax incentive in order to reduce tax burdens on investors in order to make Thailand a more attractive location. We are currently also giving tax incentives to new businesses. Our activities, our targeted activities, of course, depend on the situation because the business environment, with the technology disruption, with everything that is going on in this uncertain world, we need to be also resilient in terms of our policy measures. So we have been adjusting our policies all along. We aim to attract investments which would use higher technology, of course, and also we introduced measures for new businesses. As I mentioned earlier, that we just announced our support measures for clinical research. We also announced some new activities that are eligible for BOI promotion in sectors such as in the things that are related to the circular economy and so on. And also we have one objective at hand, that is how to make sure that our incentive policies are used as a tool to transform the structure of the Thai economy. So we have been incentivizing companies in transforming themselves, improving themselves. We call it productivity enhancement scheme. That means we allow existing companies to come back to us to apply for tax incentives, although they may not increase their production capacity at all. Normally, if companies come to us, they need to have a proposal to increase their production capacity. But I think one of the key challenges for Thailand today is how to transform our economic structure to cope with the rapid changes. So now we allow companies that have investment plans to do a number of things. First of all, to use renewable energy. Companies may have solar installations on their rooftop and they can come back to us for tax incentives, or to reduce impacts on the environment in order that we can create a better world, and also to use or to adopt the digital technology, which is very important today, particularly with the COVID situation. The digitalization is speeding up. The speed of change is so rapid. So, and also we also introduced another scheme, another measure for companies that need to invest or spend on achieving sustainability certification, because these types of certification would be required in more and more industries, particularly if we are exporting to developed countries. So we are now incentivizing companies I forgot to mention one thing, also automation, because automation today is no longer a luxury, but it is necessary, particularly with the COVID situation. So we are now incentivizing companies in improving themselves. We call it productivity enhancement schemes, by doing all of any of these things that I just mentioned. So not only the policy measures, we are also facilitating companies, particularly foreign companies that would need probably more facilitation, such as visas and work permits, and also coordinating with relevant agencies, other agencies. The BOI has been acting as a go-between between investors and other government agencies. And also we are working with our private sector counterparts, such as chambers of commerce, in order to obtain inputs from the private sector on the ecosystem, that in order to get inputs or recommendations on how to improve our business environment further. My final message would be that in Thailand, we have been significantly improving things that are necessary for investors, such as infrastructure facilities, legal systems, new support measures, and so on, and also upgrading and reskilling and upskilling of our workforce. So all of this combined, I believe that Thailand offers itself as a very, very competitive location for investors.